Hello again, Terrifics. David Milch here from the floor of the Jacob K. Javits Center in New York City for Toy Fair 2017. This is the fourth of our 4 days of broadcasting. You've all been simply terrific. It looks like we're going to have between 1.5 and 2 million viewers for the 4 days, which is fantastic. Broke our record from last year, and it shows that the family of BeTerrific is loyal and loves the content and the information and the experts and the interesting individuals who have come on set and are working with us and bringing Toy Fair and everything associated with it to you. And in fact, we have a wonderful guest with us right now, Richard Gottlieb.
Hey, how you doing?
Say hello to the Terrifics, Richard. Richard Gottlieb is a veteran. Can I call you a veteran in the toy industry?
Can, sir.
A veteran in the toy industry, and as we've said a number of times, we're all surrounded, Richard, by oceans of information.
Yeah.
And then over time, some of us gather some of that information into silos of knowledge. But having information and having a silo of knowledge, of expertise, isn't enough. We miss the third component often, Richard. We miss the umbrella, the wisdom that comes from years of experience. And you come here, I don't know if you brought your wisdom umbrella, but I know it's inside of you, it's inside of your mind, it's part of all you do. So with that introduction, tell us what you do in the toy industry, and we'll have a conversation.
Okay, my name is, as you said, Richard Gottlieb, and my consulting company is Global Toy Experts. We're international. We work with toy companies that want to grow their business, or if it's a foreign company, a non-U.S. company, we assist them in entering the U.S. market. I also speak. You might have seen me speak. Your audience may have at some other events. And I write. I have a magazine called Global Toy News, which is actually a magazine of commentary on the toy industry and play industry. And that can be found at globaltoynews.com. And we work with inventors. We're inventor agents, and we also do mergers and acquisitions work.
So you really, run the gamut.
We do.
Of
we
advisory
do.
services.
360 degrees.
So, if any of the Terrifics out there have been inspired by some of the guests that they've seen, who in a number of cases on set and in the interviews are startups, have are just bringing their products to market now, and have talked about the history of what they did before they got into the toy industry, or their hopes and dreams of building a toy company from an early start, they would be well advised to reach out to you, any of the Terrifics that have a toy idea or a group that has some technology that they'd like to bring into the toy industry, or perhaps you're not here at the Toy Fair and you have a small toy company and you'd like it to grow. You'd be the person for them to call. Let's make sure that they get your website exactly right. Slowly tell them exactly where to go.
Global Toy Experts, that's www.globaltoyexperts.com. And let me just say, we would of course appreciate it if you approached us, but I just want to say that there is no toy industry without the entrepreneur. There is no toy industry without the toy inventor. We depend upon people like that to keep this industry invigorated with new companies and new ideas and new products. So whether you work through me or however you work, step up. We would love to have you as part of our community.
So whether you're a software engineer in Silicon Valley on Sand Hill Road, or you're in Marin County, as one of the companies was, and have come up with a line of products for combining circuitry and mobility, and you were in the information technology world, or you have a line of inflatables like Kangaroo behind us, and you can perhaps hear the Ariel playing the ukulele in the background still. We had her on set, and she was marvelous. She sang 2 songs for us. Wherever you are in your career, whether you're in your 20s or your 60s, whether you've finished engineering at Berkeley or Caltech or Stanford or any of the other wonderful schools, and you're going to continue in your career, but you have an idea, you have a young family, young kids, and something you put together in your workshop has inspired you to see if other kids and families want it. You need to have someone that can guide you through the steps to turn the idea, the inspiration, the creativity into a business, and that's what you do, Richard.
We do.
Right?
Yeah.
So would you like to give us some examples of the kinds of clients that you work with?
Not here. We'll let them come to our website and you'll see there.
There are client
we have a client list on the website. Tells you everybody we worked on. Yeah.
So in terms of
we like to keep that proprietary.
Understood. Absolutely. And actually
that's a wonderful thing.
Well, and that means that your clients know that if they work with you, they can count on all discussions
we don't
and everything.
Want to pick favorites.
Exactly.
Okay.
You're not picking favorites, and confidentiality, especially these days. The industry has changed. IP is important, and knowing they can work with someone that's a trusted advisor is so important. So, in terms of trends, for example, we've seen a lot of products that combine learning with play, or other things that you've seen as general trends in the industry.
I would say to you this, that we've gone through a period of great technological innovation, and this past year we saw a rise in traditional play. We saw children going back outside and playing with outdoor toys, etc. And a lot of it emanates from parents being a little concerned about too much screen time, etc.
Too much
screen
this time,
right?
Too much. Leave this in the house, get out in the sandbox and get yourself dirty.
We got 5 screens now. So, but I will say I think it's temporary. I think technology advances exponentially.
Sure.
So if you have a digital product or some kind of technology-based product, it's going to be a growing market. But let me say very clearly that traditional toys are going to continue to be extremely, not just popular, but important. When you watch a child playing with blocks and they build that tower of blocks and it falls down, and they build it back again and it falls down and it finally stays up, they're learning physics. They're learning how the physical world works. They're learning what stays up and what falls down. So traditional toys, physical play is extremely important.
Well, one of the companies we had on yesterday had 2 demonstrators on. One was demonstrating a tiny drone that he was just an expert. He flew it around the set here. And the other, they had acquired Etch-a-Sketch.
Right.
So they had the Etch-a-Sketch, which is one of the classic toys going back, you probably know better than me, 50, 75 years, been around forever. And of course, drones are a very recent phenomenon. And those aren't incompatible. A company can have both lines and reach out to kids and families.
And I might also point out, I went to a birthday party and a child had been given, the child was given a $400 Star Wars set. But he was out in the yard playing with a $1 glider, balsa wood glider. And he was having the best time.
Exactly.
And I call that play power, and it's how much play value per dollar.
Right.
So a lot of time these very basic toys at a low cost provide a tremendous amount of pleasure and joy and
I like that idea. Play value per dollar. Every industry, especially the advisors, the consultants, the investors, they always want a metric, to measure things by. My sense is that that's a subjective metric. That's something when you're meeting a client, you're saying, look, we have to provide, you as a company, your products have to provide the most play value for dollar. Otherwise, you could have a great idea, a complicated product, but it won't sell.
Right, and so I think we always have to keep our eye on that aspect. We as an industry like to talk about the wow factor, to make you go wow. Well, not only should it make you go wow when you see it on the shelf and wow when you put it in the shopping cart, but you need to say wow when you get it home. And so we really need to think in terms always of that final play experience that adult or child is going to have.
Well, there's been a lot of wow on this set. We had the Hatchimals, we had the founding couple from Think Fun, and they showed us some of the new products they have going, which our family has used for years. I don't want to play favorites here in terms of this company or that, but there's just been so much wonderful fun play, technology, learning, excitement, and a sense of, this is just the beginning. The sky is the limit.
Well, also there's a lot going on in what I like to call phygital play, which is
phygital,
right,
okay.
Talking about physical and digital. Because remember, to you and me, there's a very bright line between what is physical and what is virtual. But for children who are growing up today, this Generation Z, there is no bright line, and I always like to say they live in a lot bigger room than we do. If you see a child with his family at McDonald's and the family's together and he's in his cell phone, and you want to go over there and take the cell phone away from the kid, but realize the kid thinks they're inside there with him.
Right.
Because his room, his universe is bigger. So how do we create toys for children who inhabit really a bigger world than we do? And I think it's very challenging for some in the toy industry to get beyond their own childhood experiences and try to get inside of a kid who's 4 years old, 5 years old.
Sure, sure. Well, this idea of phygital, I can't help but reflect. Yesterday, we had Flybar on with the classic pogo stick.
Correct.
And I remember pogo stick from my preteen years.
I remember never being able to do a pogo
Well,
stick.
I became a pretty good pogo sticker, and as the Terrifics can tell you, I was talked into giving it a shot, and I nailed it.
Wow.
Wow. And I figured it out when I got home. The last time I'd been on a pogo stick was 1970, so that's almost 50 years, and I was able to get on that pogo stick. And then on the phygital, so they had the classic pogo stick, with the heavy spring for an adult, that could handle the weight. And then they had a digital version, also well constructed, which would count the number of times you're up and down for a younger kid. And I said, are you going to have a calorie counter and an exercise monitor? They said those are some of the areas we're looking. So toys and exercise and play and learning, those are all coming together in interesting ways.
Well, we're seeing this kind of convergence of entertainment and toys. In technology and physical play, we're seeing a lot of this happening in order to allow us to create brand new ways to play. I will tell you though that the retail community has to really work to get beyond the old 19th century department store concept of what goes where, because we're creating products today that have no home. Because the
in terms of the retail industry,
the category doesn't exist, so there's no place to go in the store, and that can create a problem for someone who's trying to sell that product, because who's the buyer? Sometimes even the company doesn't know, because
who's the customer, who's the buyer, who's the distributor.
All of it.
Right.
So we really would need to see some change there.
Right. Well, that really speaks to what goes on behind the curtain in any business. You see a toy, even a simple inflatable for a pool, and people don't know how much has gone into creating that toy at the right price point, sourcing all the materials, putting it together, transporting it, packaging it, getting ready to promote it, getting into distribution, selling it, and being able to keep up with the demand and the changes in the simplest toy, no less the ones that are integrating different technologies.
Which wants me to again, speaking to your entrepreneurial audience, to say that this is hard. It's not easy, and it takes a lot of patience, and it takes a lot of courage, and it takes a lot of time. Lightning does strike sometimes, but sometimes you got to make your own. Sure. And so you need to really come into this with some patience and expect highs and lows and having to overcome some things.
And in my experience, no business is easy. It all starts, however, with that spark of creativity. But whether you're trying to bring a new consumer good, or something in the fashion world, or something in the technology or medical devices or pharmacological treatments, every single industry, every single product category has the knowledge base that you have to bring to it. It requires that spark of creativity to do something new and different, and then you have to bring all the resources, put a team together. And again, if they're fortunate to meet someone like you, Richard, that enables them, you gave the rake analogy. Why don't you tell our...
Well, I like to say, those of us who've been doing this for a long time, we know a lot. But a lot of what we know is because we stepped on the rake, and the rake slammed us in the eye, which I've actually done in life. And we
I don't want to do that again.
We know where the rake is,
Right, and the landmines.
Right, we're
and
not
the trapdoors.
Right, so it's not that we were born with this knowledge. It's that we went through a lot of pain and hard work and failure at times to learn.
The best teacher.
To learn what we know. And those entrepreneurs who come in and stay with us, they'll be the experts someday too.
Absolutely. Well, I have no doubt that the clients that have worked with you sing your praises. It's been a pleasure having you on set with us once again.
Thank you.
Richard, tell the Terrifics the website and how they get a hold of you.
www.globaltoyexperts.com, and if you want to read our magazine, which I would encourage you to do, it's www.globaltoynews.com. Thank you very much.
Fantastic. Richard, sir, a pleasure. Terrific. I hope you found that interesting and informative. Those of you that have a great toy idea in mind, this is the man that you should reach out to. We have more coming on BeTerrific at the Toy Fair 2017. We'll see you in a bit.